guys, welcome back to the channel Nate's Pink Bookshelf. My name is Nate for those of you who are new to the channel or who just happen to stumble across this video. And today's video is going to be my library sale book haul. So I posted a video like this a year ago, just about. Every October my library has their fall book sale, and every May they have their spring one. I went to their fall one last year and I got so many books. I think I spent less than $80 on over 100 books. I can't really remember, but most of these books on my shelves came from that sale, and they have a really good deal. You guys can see the prices here. Their mass market paperbacks are 25 cents, or you can buy 5 for $1. Their large size paperbacks, which is just a standard paperback, is 50 cents, or you can get 5 for $2. And then their hardcovers are all $1, or you can buy them 5 for $4. So they have such an amazing steal. Their one last year was amazing, like epic. I went twice. They had their spring one, which really wasn't that good. I think I hauled it. I don't know if I uploaded that video or if I trashed that video. I don't remember. If I even have the footage, I'll try to find it if I don't have it uploaded. I don't remember. But I went to the one for this fall, which was on October 5th, Saturday, and they have it from 9 to 3. And I only went once. It wasn't a lot of books there, but my library sells books on a daily basis, so I can always go to the library and find new books if I want. But I ended up getting a lot of Christian fiction and some other like YA fictional novels. Some fantasy, mostly, honestly. I mostly got a lot of fantasy. So we're going to dive into this. I spent about $24 on 46 books, but one was for my mother and one was for my son. The one I got for my son is this one here, and it is Dogman, A Tale of Two Kittens by Dave Pilkey, and he is the author of Captain Underpants. So I did get this for my son. My sister actually picked it out for my son, and I paid for it. So I did get this book, but this one was for my son. And my mom, I got her a Christian nonfiction book called The Battle Plan for Prayer. I own a copy of the book, so the fact that they had a brand new copy there for only 50 cents, I snagged it up for my mother. But other than that, I personally have 44 books, but then I also have 2 additional books that my sister passed to me to read. So I'm gonna haul all of these right here. These are not all the books that I have for you guys. I have quite a few books because I do blog tours and reviews and things like that. So I'm trying to figure out how to do this without making a mess and dropping my coffee. And if you guys do hear my son, he is home right now. He's actually standing right here. He's not feeling well, so I kept him home, and probably will be taking him to the ER later on tonight. But yes, I wanted to still try to make this video for you guys, so bear with me if you guys see me like zone off to the side or anything like that, or if you hear any background noise. Go ahead, take your book and go sit on the back. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the 2 middle grade novels that I have. Again, these were gifted to me, not gifted to me, but given to me from my sister to read. This first one is called Blended by Sharon M. Draper. Honestly, all that I know is that this is like a middle grade contemporary about a mixed biracial girl. That's all I know, and it sounded cool, and I just love the cover of this book. It is so stunning with the illustrations and the color. I like her afro puff. I like her white dress with her kicks on and the ice cream on the floor, of course vanilla and chocolate, and then the back also has this cute illustration. So yeah, that's really all that I know. Her name is Isabella. She's 11 years old. Her father is black, her mother is white, and she's used to the comments of, "You're so exotic, you look so unusual, but what are you really?" So it says that now that her parents are divorced, she feels like push me, pull me toy. Being split between her mom and dad is more like switching houses, switching nicknames, and switching backpacks. It's switching identities. So it's basically her just trying to figure out what she is, if she's black, if she's white, if she's both. Trying to figure that out. It sounded really cool, and my sister said she enjoyed it, so she passed it on to me to read, and I just love the cover. So cute. Alright, so the next one is more of a, I don't know if this is like a graphic novel or comic book style, but it is called Just So Happens by Fumio Obata. It's a graphic novel, and I'm not sure if this is YA or adult. I believe the character is like an adult, I'm not sure, but it says Yumiko was born in Japan but has made a life in London, losing herself in its metropolitan bustle. She has a gallery show of her art, a good job, and a good guy she plans to marry. The culture she grew up in seems far away until her brother phones with the news that her father has died. Yumiko soon finds herself immersed in the rituals of death while also plunged into the rituals of Tokyo life. Fish bars, bullet trains, as she confronts the question of where her future really lies. Just So Happens deals both gently and powerfully with grief, identity, and the pressure not to disappoint one's parents even after they're gone. So I am excited to dive in. Here's what the artwork looks like. Again, my sister read it. She wasn't really intrigued by it. I guess she thought it was a YA novel, but this definitely seems like it's an adult novel. So I'm actually interested to see what I like. And honestly, the cover itself is just what drew me to it. The cover is amazing. The artwork looks more like watercolor, like real quick watercoloring was done, but I don't mind it. And the cover on the front of the book itself looks like that. So I'm excited to have this in my stash, another graphic novel for my collection. I am keeping this from my sister. She's not getting this back because it's an adult novel. So we have this. Okay, so the next books are all the books that I got from the library sale, and I'm going to start off with these huge like bind up novels that I have. So this first one here is the Chronicles of Narnia from C.S. Lewis, and it's just the bind up of all of the books. I saw it there and I was like, why not just grab it? I mean, it was only 50 cents. Why not? And I have not read the books. I did see The Witch in the Wardrobe. I think that's what it's called. I did see that movie. So, yeah, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe I did see. So, it is a bind-up of all of the books. So, I'm excited to dive into the series and see what I think of the series. The next bind-up I got is a classic, and this is the Jane Austen 4 classic novels. This has Sense and Sensibility, Pride and Prejudice, Emma, and Persuasion. I have read all 4 of these already in high school and in college, but I have not reread them as an adult, and I definitely want to reread them and annotate them and give my opinions, and then probably watch a bunch of the movies as well. So yeah, it was sitting there. It looked really nice. This was sitting there with another classic bind up that I got, and then also with Edgar Allan Poe. I didn't get the Edgar Allan Poe one because I don't think I've read much from him, but I do enjoy Jane Austen, so we have this bind up. The next bind up is The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn and Other Novels by Mark Twain, and I got it because the cover is stunning. I love the colors of like that bluish teal with the green and the yellow with the black. It's just really pretty to me. That's honestly why I got it. But this collects 4 of Mark Twain's best loved novels, which are The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, The Prince and the Pauper, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, and A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court. So yeah, I'm excited to dive into these. I've only read The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. I've heard about Tom Sawyer. I've read the children's version of like The Prince and the Pauper. So I'm interested to see what the actual classic novels are like. And again, this is stunning. I love the cover. Like it's pretty. The last bind-up I got up is more of a horror kind of bind-up, something definitely out of my comfort zone, and it's the Sensational Tales of Terror, Penny Dreadfuls, compiled by Stefan, that name that I cannot pronounce at all, but yeah, basically, I heard about the Penny Dreadful novels from another book that I was reading. I don't think I have a copy of that book near me right now. I'm trying to see if I can find it. Yeah, I don't have the book with me. It's like down here at the bottom and I'm not going to get it. But I was reading that book, and it was basically a Victorian style book written about 2 authors. One was a woman, one was a man, and the woman was writing Penny Dreadful novels, but they didn't know it was a woman, and it just sounded really interesting. Reading about Penny Dreadfuls, so I figured, I saw this there, it was definitely, you know, thriller-esque, horror-esque, and I figured I would get the bind up and try out some Penny Dreadfuls. It says horror. This is not something I'm used to, like, at all. There are 100 different ways. There you have Frankenstein in here, Adventures of the German Student, The Werewolf, The Pit and the Pendulum from Edgar Allan Poe, Bram Stoker's The Dualities, Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So you have some of like the basic ones. Oh, you have Sweeney Todd in here too. Wow. I've seen Sweeney Todd the movie. I haven't read the book. So this is going to be interesting. I will say the font is extremely tiny. Like really, really tiny. So we'll see. But I figured this would be something that is also like out of my comfort zone, but will be good to try and read for myself as like a sort of classic in a sense. So yes, we have this. Okay, so moving on to my YA dystopian, right? YA dystopian. Yes, I have 4 YA dystopian novels here, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just checking. I believe these are all YA dystopians. But the first one is The Jewel by Amy Ewing. The power to choose comes with a price. All I know is that this girl, she gets sold and she becomes a surrogate. That's pretty much all I know about this book. It's a book that I've wanted to read for a long time but never did read. I do own the ebook version of it, but I saw the hardcover, excuse me, and it is stunning. I just love the colors on here. It is really like pretty, and yeah, I decided to snag it from the library while it was there, and I love the front. It just says The Jewel in like this foil blue color. So yes, we have that. The next I have is a trilogy, but I only have books 1 and 3, which is crazy. But the first book, if I'm not mistaken, is called Feuds, and it looks like it's a ballerina based novel, like a dance novel. I'm not sure, but they say it's like Romeo and Juliet love story. So I'm assuming ballet, because obviously ballet dancers here. But yeah, this is the first book, and I love the cover. The cover is really what sold me on it. It was so pretty. And again, they also have the third book, which is Torn. The second book is called Rival. I'm gonna see if I can get my hands on it. I'll probably just read. We'll see. If I like the first book, I'll order the hardcover of the second book, and if not, I'll just get the second book on ebook and then read the third book. But the covers are gorgeous, really, really gorgeous. YA dystopian. The last YA dystopian I got is In a Split Second by Sophie McKenzie. I got this because I do have the sequel. It's a duology. I can't remember. I think it's Every Second Counts is what the second book is called. I got the second book at Dollar Tree for $1 like years ago. So I figured I would get this. They had both the first and second book at the library, but I only needed the first book. So now I have them both to read. And it says life can change in the blink of an eye, whether you're ready or not. Not sure what it's about. YA dystopian, most likely some romance on it because there is a girl and a guy on the cover. It says 2 lives, 1 explosive moment, and a secret that could end it all. So I'm excited to dive and see what I think. Alright, so sticking to the kind of YA theme, the next I have is from Scott Westerfeld, and this is from the Leviathan trilogy. I could have sworn I owned book 1, but I don't think I bought book 1 at the last library sale. So I do have the second and third book. So I have Behemoth by Scott Westerfeld. And this is a sort of steampunk dystopian fantasy. I really don't know. I know it's steampunk because of the cover, obviously. I'm pretty sure it's fantasy, but it could also be sci-fi. I don't know. It'll be on the screen. But yeah, we have Behemoth and then Goliath. I do own them all 3 on ebook, and I haven't read them yet, so we'll see how I feel and if I will purchase book 1. The next book I have is, of course, YA, and this one will be more so paranormal romance, and it is Sweet Evil by Wendy Higgins. A lot of people have raved about this before, heard good things about it, so I wanted to read it, pretty much. I do own the entire series on ebook, but again, one of those things where I own the ebook, haven't read the series yet, and figured I would get it since it was only 50 cents. Why not? So we have this to try out, and I hope it's good. I love me a good paranormal romance. I am a sucker for paranormal romance, be it YA or adult. So I'm excited to dive into this. The next novel is an adult suspense thriller, and I got this because I saw the movie, enjoyed the movie, and want to continue on and actually read the books. So I got The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo by Stieg Larsson. All I know is that this is action-packed because I saw the movie, and that's pretty much all I know. I don't want to read the synopsis of it. I want to go into it blind just because I enjoyed the movie so much. So I kind of want to read the book and then rewatch the movie. I watched the movie years ago when it came out. So, yeah, I got this. And my library had this in a hardcover and paperback, but I didn't feel like switching the paperback for the hardcover. Just didn't feel like doing all that work. So I got the paperback. It doesn't bother me. It is a little beat up, but it's okay for me. So we have this book here. The next 2 books are adult historical fiction, and I love this author. This is literally probably, if I had to pick a historical fiction author to read from, it would be her, and it's Philippa Gregory. I watched her White Queen series, I believe it was, on Netflix when it first came out. No, not Netflix, on Stars when it came out. I was pregnant with my son at the time, and it's like 2013. And I binged watched the entire series. Fell in love with it, then went to the library and took out White Princess. Fell in love with that to the point where I now own 2 copies of the White Princess. I have a hardcover and a paperback. And I own another book from Philippa Gregory that I got from Goodwill. And that one is signed, thank God. And now I have 2 more books to add to my collection. I don't know. I love her writing. I like the way she pulls me into the story. I'm not a history buff at all. I can't stand history. It's not my thing. I like history as far as like learning different cultures and religions and beliefs, but history as like presidents and all that, I don't do. We don't do that. But I got these two. They looked really nice, and they both have foil. So the first one is The Queen's Fool by Philippa Gregory, and it is gorgeous. I love the gold foiling on here. And this says, a young woman caught in rivalry between Queen Mary and her half-sister Elizabeth must find her true destiny amid treason, rivalries, loss of faith, and unrequited love. That is all I'm going to read on the back of this. I don't want to read anymore, so we have this one. Then I have the Red Queen, because I love the White Queen and I love the White Princess. I figured I would just go on with the Red Queen series as well. I can't remember the actual name of this series. Like, honestly, I can't. But The Cousins' War. So this is book 2 in The Cousins' War. Book 1 is The White Queen, which I've seen the movie. Not the movie, the show. I haven't read the book, but I do own it. So, yeah, I'm excited to dive into this after I read book 1, which is The White Queen, which I might have to go and get a copy of that. I might want a physical copy. We'll see. But we have this. Moving on. Okay, so we have one classic I saw that I wanted, outside of Jane Austen and Huckleberry Finn and all that. Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I have seen so many Frankenstein movies, but I have never read the book. So I decided I wanted to start getting into the actual classic novels of books, like Frankenstein and Sherlock Holmes. And I also want to read the classical novels of like Peter Pan and stuff like that. I've never read the books, but I've always watched the movies. So I got this. It was there, and it's a Barnes & Noble's Classics. Introduction and notes by Karen, which I didn't even realize there were notes on here, like inside here. So that's pretty cool. But yeah. Got that. Frankenstein. Okay, so moving into the fantasy genre. I have 2 urban fantasy series here, and then I have a fantasy series from an author, but it's like a large series. So, starting off with one that I love, J.R. Ward. I have Dark Lover. I have Lover Awakened, and Lover Unbound, which I'm so happy I found these because I have Eternal Lover and Lover at Last here on my shelf. If you guys can see, I have those. I also own ebooks, but I have not continued on with the series. I've read maybe 3 books out of the series. I've read was it Eternal Lover? Yes, I read that, enjoyed it. So I'm excited to own these 3, and I think I'm just gonna collect them all because they are actually pretty interesting. Urban paranormal fantasy, if you will. I don't even know, is it urban fantasy or is it just paranormal fantasy? I'm just gonna say paranormal romance. How about we say that? Adult paranormal romance and vampires. Yep. Sexy men. I'm here for it. So we have these. The next urban fantasy is one that I have not read at all, and I've seen the TV show, and the TV show is of course True Blood, and I loved True Blood, and I've been wanting to binge watch the series again. I love it so much, and every time I see like the different actors in different shows, I'm just like, oh my god, True Blood. I start calling them by their like names, like Eric. I love me some Eric. When I see him in other movies, I'm just like, Eric, oh, I love you. But, yes, it is the Sookie Stackhouse series. I have the first 4 books, which I thought was awesome that my library had the first 4. So, it's by Charlene Harris. Is that how you say it? Charlene Harris. And, the first book is Dead Until Dark. The second book is Living Dead in Dallas. The third book actually has the TV show tie-in cover, which I think is dope. But, it's Club Dead. And if you guys have not seen this series, True Blood was really awesome. It was all the rage back when vampires were like the thing, so we have that. And book 4 is Dead to the World. So I think the covers are really funny and cute, like illustrations. Really funny, cute. But yes, I have the first 4 books in the series, and I can start the series if I want to, so I'm excited about that. The last fantasy series I have is apparently a very, 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 very large series. It's like a realm or like a world with like several thousand series broken into it, and I'm not sure of the order of the series. It'll be on the screen as I show these books, but the author is R.A. Salvatore, and Salvatore? Torre? I don't know how to say it, but the first book I have is A Silent Blade. The next book I have is Sea of Swords. Then I have The Promise of the Witch King. This is the Cell Swords book 2. I then have The Two Swords, which is book 3 in the Hunter's Blade trilogy. And then I have books 1 and 2 of the Transitions trilogy. It's the Orc King and the Pirate King. And the series would be like the Forgotten Realms. Yeah, is what it says. So yeah, this series started back in 1998 or something like that. So these are definitely out of order. I'm definitely gonna have to get the ebooks or just purchase the actual like mass market paperbacks and have in my collection. But I'm excited to have all of these. These were literally the only ones that I saw that they had, and I took them all because it seemed interesting enough. And that's all I know. It's fantasy. It deals with orcs and I think not goblins. Is it goblins? I know that there are demons, there's orcs, and that's pretty much all I know. So, fantasy. That's all I know. So, now we're going to go into, like, my Christian fiction genre. I did find a few Christian fiction genre books, and I'm, like, so excited for them. If you guys don't know, I am a Christian. I do believe in God and Jesus Christ. I also am an evangelist within ministry. I also run an online ministry here on YouTube, as well as on my blog called Daughter of Increase, which is why I haven't really been on this channel so often. You can just click the eye on the screen and go to that channel. But I did miss making my book-related videos and reading my books and just sharing my love of books. But I did find some biblical fiction and Christian fiction, so I'm going to share it on the channel anyway with you guys. So the first book I have is Zipporah, Wife of Moses. It is by Merrick Halter, and it is literally just biblical fiction based on the wife of Moses, pretty much. So it deals with the book of Exodus, and I'm excited to dive into this. I have read about Zipporah. I don't know much about her, but I just know that she is a wife of Moses after he fled from Egypt after killing one of the Egyptians. So yeah, I'm excited to dive into this. It's really short. It is a beat up, a beat up copy, but I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. So we have this. The next book I got was one that I was super excited about because I've been wanting this for a long time. I put it in my thrift book cart so many times, took it out, put it back in, took it out, put it back in, took it out, and I'm so excited that I found it. It is a part of a series. There are 2 other books. I believe it's like a companion series, but I'm so excited to have found this, and it's by R.J. Larson. It is called Prophet, and yes, biblical fiction, and I can't wait. Okay, so the last set of series, I'm trying to grab it, I found was crazy. So I found almost a complete series. I'm missing 1 book from each series. So I have 2 series by Tim LaHaye and Jerry B. Jenkins, and these are Christian fantasy novels. A lot of people have raved about this series and talk about this author a lot. In this series, there is a younger adult version of this series as well, but I have all of the adult versions, and I'm so stoked. I believe there's 12 here, but 13 books total, and the other series I have is a trilogy, but I'm missing the last book in that one as well. So we're just going to dive into this so it's not too long. So the first book I have is Left Behind by Tim LaHaye and Jerry B. Jenkins, and yeah, it's the first book in the Left Behind series, which is pretty long, and it just says a novel of Earth's last days. So it's just Christian fiction on like the last times, the end times, pretty much. So we have that. Book 2 is called Tribulation Force, and it's the continuing drama of those left behind. Book 3 is Nicola, I don't know, but it's the rise of Antichrist. And I just love these covers. They're like really pretty. Then we have Soul Harvest, which is The World Takes Sides. Gorgeous colors. I am obsessed with these colors. And these are the Crossings Book Club edition copies that I have right here. They're all the same kind of edition. Book 5, yes, is Apollyon the Destroyer is Unleashed. And this one is a larger size hardcover. It has that foiling on it, which I love. So Book 6 is Assassins, Assignment, Jerusalem, Target, Antichrist, which sounds dope. So I'm excited to get to the series. Book 7 is another one of those larger hardcovers with the foiling on it. This is the Indwelling, The Beast Takes Possession. Book 8 is The Mark, The Beast Rules the World. Book 9 is Discretion, and Antichrist Takes the Throne. Book 10 is The Remnant, On the Brink of Armageddon. Book 11 is Armageddon, the Cosmic Battle of the Ages. Book 12, which is the last book I have in the Left Behind series, is Glorious Appearing, The End of Days. And I believe there are 13 or 14 books in this series, but this is the last one that I own for the Left Behind. And again, Crossing Book Club editions. And like I said, I have another series from these 2 authors, which is kind of like the sequel to the series. And the series is called, oh my god, I can't remember what it's called. I'll put it on the screen, the name of this trilogy. But the first book is The Rising Antichrist is Born, and this is before they were left behind. And the second book is The Regime Evil Advance. So I'm just missing the third book from this trilogy, and the either 13th or 13th and 14th of Left Behind. But that is it, you guys, for my library book haul. I'm super excited to own these books. Now I just have to figure out where they're going to go on my shelf. As you guys can see, I have a lot of my mass market paperbacks here, fantasy, so I'm going to have to rearrange that and figure that out. I have some more mass markets at the bottom here, which are more so like my contemporary romances. I like to keep my fantasy and paranormal on display, so we're going to figure that out. But yeah, I'm super excited about this haul. I can't wait to dive into some of these books. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!